In this edition of the Shop Talk series, we're with Scott Weston from Berlin, Vermont, the legend. Let's take a look inside the shop, have a little interview, and see what's going on. Good afternoon, Scott.
How are you?
Good, yourself?
Not too bad.
So we're here with the Shop Talk series to get a little insight on your car and what your schedule's like for the season and who helps you out. So how far along are you with this one?
Well, we've only got, we got to put the window nut, finished doing stuff with the motor. I'm working on the exhaust today to get that straightened out. I had to put the Lexan in for the windshield. Little odds and ends that need to be done, but it'll be ready for car show day.
And what year did you start racing?
1989. It was in the large, like the Oldsmobiles and Novas.
The Killer Bees?
No, it was before that. The original street stocks. When they first called them street stocks, and they started putting front hoops in them the year after I started, I think it was.
What year did you say?
89.
So would that been like Kendall Roberts, Debbie Kingsbury, Jim
Actually,
Scott?
my Debbie Kingsbury was racing. The person I got my car from was Les Abbey, and we put a 6-cylinder in it. It wasn't the greatest car, but it got me on the track. You know, for a free car, it really didn't have to be special, but you know, when I first drove onto the track, that was something else too.
And what's your schedule look like this year? Full-time Thunder Road? Any other stuff going on?
I plan on full-time Thunder Road, and if I can make White Mountains, I plan on making it over there. I might take one of my cars and turn it into a dirt car, just to, you know, go down to Devil's Bowl and visit with Mike a little bit down there, and go over to Bradford, over to Bear Ridge. I'd like to. We're not going to do Airborne because Airborne is Thursday nights, and that's just not going to work with the Thunder Road schedule.
And who's on the crew week to week? Who helps you out? Was it the same guys, or you do have different people, or?
Bill LaSure, he's my right-hand, left-handed man.
Hi, Bill.
How you doing?
Good.
And he plays with all the wiring. I stay away from wiring. If you want to learn how to burn a car up, I'll teach you how to do wiring.
And who do you get for sponsors?
David Otis with Chimney Care out of Barrie. If you need any chimney work done, get a hold of David.
It was right up on Booth Road.
Yes, sir. Yeah. Good guy. He kind of sought me out. He talked to my brother a little bit. He thought about sponsoring me, and then I ended up seeing him downtown one day, and he says, "Come see me. I got some money for you." And that's how that ended up. He's the only cash sponsor out of everything I have going on. Most of it's out of pocket. I do plan on building another car, like a fool. Have plenty of roll cage tubing up there, and I have a kit cage sitting on the other side of this car. So maybe one or two. And at this time, it's 7 or 8 that I actually have.
Cars?
Cars.
You got issues, man.
Issues. Did you see it right across the forehead? It says stupid.
So everybody likes to brag of how well they've done, and nobody wants to talk about their lows. So let's start with the lows. What's the worst thing that's happened to you in racing?
The worst thing that happened to me, 2017 was my worst year. Everything that could happen did happen. I rolled the car, got wrecked on the front stretch. They pulled the red flag for as bad as the wreck was. I tried to drive away. Little did I know the red flag was for me, because I got hit every which way but loose. But I thought there was nothing wrong with it. I built that cage real good. I didn't even feel it in the car. It destroyed the car.
Get injured at all?
No. When I rolled, They got me in the ambulance, and they turned around and asked me, well, have you ever heard of a compression fracture? I said, yeah, I've heard of them. Well, you might have one. I said, what do they do for them? Oh, they just tape you up. I said, I guess I don't need to go. I left the track that day coming down off Quarry Hill.
Yeah.
And it was hot out. The air conditioning in the truck was working great. I sneezed and I felt like I blew a hole in my back. So yeah, I had some issues going on.
And how about the high points?
High points, couple of the wins that I had, they were just wild. Remember in the whole race, I mean, you're looking, as you're in the lead and you're not a very top competitor, you're watching your mirror and you're watching all around you on the track. And you're looking at your mirror saying, man, I hope they don't catch up to me. And then after, when you're in the tech area, you're like, boy, I hope I didn't do something wrong. I hope they don't disqualify me for something foolish. Dean Gallison, when he was in the official, he turned around and disqualified me for a right rear tire that wasn't registered with the track, although I bought it from the track. And I got DQ'd for that win. I went over to it with the sheetrock knife, stabbed the tire. I said, you'll never have to read the numbers on that tire again.
That's the spirit.
Yes, it was.
So obviously,
Then after I did that, I realized I could have taken that tire to another track and ran it another track. I went, damn, that was $80 out the window.
so obviously at Thunder Road and White Mountain, Thunder Road, the starter division's the Warriors, and White Mountain, it's the kids division. If you could give anybody advice that's coming into the sport in that low division, what would you say to them?
Go in with a positive attitude. Have fun with it. Don't plan on winning every week. It's not going to happen. I've got multiple trophies through the years. But if you ever, if you're in the Warrior division and you're racing the Chevy Cavalier or whatever, if you need some help, stop on over to my trailer. I'm more than willing to give you some advice. I'm not the greatest. I don't ever expect to be the greatest, but I'll be there to help out whoever needs help. And that's the way that I've worked through my entire racing career.
Now, obviously something wrong with you in the head to have that many race cars. And I say that jokingly because I'm sure there's still something wrong with you. Why that many cars?
Honestly, you can't have enough.
And they're all Cavaliers.
Every one of them Cavaliers. Well, between Cavalier and Pontiac Sunfire, it's the same.
But parts are interchangeable,
Yeah.
blah, blah, blah.
And I feel if I end up selling or getting rid of a part, I'm going to need it.
Racing is expensive. We all know that.
Yes, it is.
It's a hobby. You're not going to be Mr. NASCAR. Thunder Road's a tough track.
Yes, it is. Very competitive. Our division has been the most competitive. We average 30 cars a week.
Any thoughts on moving up to a Tiger?
As soon as somebody fires up their wallet and lets it ride in my direction, we'll spend it on a Tiger.
So you're going to hold your breath.
Yeah, pretty much.
And then you're going to die from holding your breath.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay. Not in the big leagues, but Thunder Road growing up, who was your go-to driver? Who was your idol?
Jim Gallison.
Gentleman Jim.
Yeah.
So
Used to root him every week. And then when I went to Catamount, I was there when Beaver Dragon rolled his car 7 times down the front stretch. He rolled 7 times, and it was end over end 9 times, and barrel rolled 7 times. And he ended up taking out his spare car, and he won that race that day.
So obviously Jim's long gone now. He passed away a while back. But
Yeah.
I remember, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, because I'm wrong most of the time, but there was a Run What You Brung. He came out in an absolute piece of shit, and he went up a nice vehicle and pretty much wrecked the guy and won it. And he was happier than hell that he did. I don't know if you were there that day or not.
No, I was not there.
It was amazing. Absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
And you can remember what number he was?
Jim Gallison, number 30.
You got it.
Yeah.
But he was a fan favorite for a long time.
Yes, he was. Hard worker.
Yep.
He hired me, I think I was 10 years old, 11 years old. We're doing some landscaping up at the, up on Main Street at the condominiums up there. Murray Hill Apartments.
Yep.
Yeah.
So as far as like, excuse me, your fans and your family, like who follows you around and roots for you week to week?
If my girls were able to make it every week, they would be there every week. I don't get to see a couple of my youngest kids, but you know, I know that if they had a chance to, they'd be there too.
And what about other people? That must be some people that cheer you on.
I do have a small fan base. I don't think it's very big because I don't hear a lot. However, when I go through the stands, that thought changes because about everybody that I see knows me, ask me either what happened or, you know, what's up with the car this week or, hey, you did a great job this week. It's just through the stands, and it's like a hit and miss all the way through the stands. So I wish it was a bigger fan base, but you get what you get, and there's a lot of racers out there that deserve fans all the way around.
When you carry the checkers, whether it's a feature or a heat, what
It feels great.
You knew I was going to ask that. Just
I knew it.
What runs through your mind at that moment when you grab onto that flag?
When I grab onto that flag, it's like, you know, I work hard for this and having fun doing it, and just hope that I pass tech.
What about like when they run the enduro? You guys are the headline division for the night. When you're out on that track in front of that crowd, when you get out and get introduced, what do you feel about that?
It feels pretty good, and you know, I think they should do more introductions with the street stocks and the Tigers, because without the street stocks and the Tigers and the late models all combined, it wouldn't be a racing scene up there. And I think everybody, every racer, every pit crew member, everybody with the officials, everybody that's involved should be, you know, basically, how would you say it, introduced in some way or form.
Should be recognized in one way or another.
Exactly.
So we've both been around racing long enough that you know that the races don't happen by themselves. So
No.
the people that take care of the grounds, the food, the bathrooms, the officials, the tech, all that has to happen.
Really thank that cleanup crew up there every week.
They're spot on.
They are right there every week. They are doing their job they're supposed to do. It's great.
So we got Brooke Wright, Garrett Townsend,
Yep.
Eric Wright,
Yep.
the Wrecker crew,
Yep.
Golden Cross.
Yep.
Sometimes John Stacy will make a pop in once a year.
Yeah. I thought he was there twice this
Maybe
last
he
year.
was. But yeah, I mean, as a facility, any track across America, the fans don't see what goes on behind the scenes, and there's a lot that goes on. So.
There is a lot that goes on. It's like I said, you know, with us, people will come to us because we've been doing it for so long. Hey, do you have a bolt? Hey, do you have a part? Can you help us with a measurement of this or a measurement of that? And, you know, if I can do it, I'll do it.
So you probably pit in the same spot every week.
I do try to be in the same spot.
You get the same crowd around you, same people. We see people at the races. We only see at the races. That's your extended family for the year, correct?
That is true.
Yep. And they're all pretty decent around you.
Everybody that's directly around me is awesome.
And they give you feedback as well as you give them feedback.
Some of them will. Some of them will hide their secrets. My issues this last year just wasn't a good year for me. A lot of motor problems. And then when I found out what the issue was, I fixed it and started to come back at the tail end of the season. I'd like to make that comeback through the year with this new car.
Now, I know this is supposed to be about you and your sponsors, but I wanted to ask you, what's your opinion on X, Y, or Z driver moving from a street stock to a late model?
I think it's great, actually. You know, if you can get that chance to go to a late model, and it doesn't matter whether you're a kid of 12 to 15 years old hopping into a late model after running a street stock, and you're able to do that and do well at it, I'm all for you.
So
That's like women. We don't have a lot of women drivers out there.
Well, we got Taylor Hoare, obviously in the late model.
Yeah.
Jen Getty's coming back this year in
Yep.
the Pontiac Sunfire, I believe.
Pontiac Sunfire, Cavalier, I'm not sure.
Something.
It's all run by the same motor.
Yep. And there's a few others that check in now and again. So
Yeah, I think it's awesome when, you know, when I get beat by a woman, I think it's great. It's all my own comedian show.
like with a baseball bat or on the track.
Either or, it doesn't matter. For some foolish reason, I like pain.
Well, that's where we talk about what's wrong in your head. So
Yeah, every so often I'll shake it and I'll hear something rattle.
So the reason I asked you about street stock to late model, Kyler Davis is doing full time at White Mountain.
Yeah.
So twice the cylinders, way more power, way more car. I think he'll do fine.
He's an awesome driver. He's a smooth driver. He knows what he's doing out there. He knows what he wants to do out there. And he's got a really, really good crew.
Well, the crew sometimes makes it happen. So
Yeah, exactly.
sometimes it's the driver, sometimes it's a combination of everything. So
It's most generally that combination of everything that's going on. As long as the driver's feeling well and the crew is doing their job like they're supposed to, and everything's going right at the track, it should end up with positive.
Well, we're almost 17 minutes in, and I thought you would not have anything to talk about, but you did good so far. Is there
I
anything?
can talk racing with you for the rest
I'm
of the
sure
year
you
if
could.
you want to.
Is there anything you want to add, about any of your racing before we clock out?
No, I'd like to add that I have a sticker, like a memorial sticker, that I put on my roof of every car that I've raced for my nephew, Justin Weston, who lost his life at the age of 23 due to an accident. But like I said, I have that sticker on every roof of every one of my cars. That's his ride. Miss him dearly. I'd like to thank Bruce Rancourt of Capital Concrete for sponsoring Johnny come out here, and thank Johnny for coming out here, and everybody else for watching. Thank you very much.
Best of luck in 2026. Wheels down, right?
Yes, sir.